Do you recall how incredible Darci Lynn's victory on America's Got Talent was? As soon as she took the stage, her lovely singing and ventriloquism captivated the audience. Regardless of how talented Darci Lynne was, her full potential was not showcased on America's Got Talent. In addition to her adorable dolls and bashful stage smiles, we will meet her and discover more about her personal life in this film. In this novel, they must deal with the cycle of life and death, make difficult choices, and adapt. What did 13-year-old Darci Lynne like to do? Her exceptional acting abilities are a result of the many hours she has dedicated to honing her craft. While her pals were out having a good time, she would frequently rehearse late at night. She persevered despite her acute shyness and fear of performing on stage. She managed to make the most of her stage fright with the help of her family. Making the most of her imperfections was what gave her the confidence to perform on one of the most famous stages in the world. Now, that's what we do learn in the film. It all started when this 12-year-old Oklahoma City native took the stage at the internationally renowned talent show, America's Got Talent. She held her puppet Petunia Bunny close to her face, grinning naively and gazing into the judges' eyes with a mixture of excitement and anxiety. The judges and the audience were enthralled when the music began and Darcy's voice could be heard clearly throughout the hall. This demonstrated how gorgeous the young girl and her doll were. The crowd erupted in applause when Judge Mel B poignantly pressed the golden buzzer at the end of the song. Millions of people's thoughts transported Darcy to the live performances with a sprinkling of golden confetti. Darcy would do a puppet performance once a week, combining comedy, singing, and ventriloquism. Darcy did an excellent job at giving life to each of her characters, regardless of whether it was Edna the old lady or Oscar the mouse. Her performances were more than just humorous. Her intriguing and enthralling performances demonstrated her talent. It was tense and exciting the night before the big finish, which signaled the end of her journey. It was an absolutely spectacular display that Darcy put on with the assistance of her real dolls. Darcy stood calmly and elegantly in front of the judges while they spoke. Millions of hearts had already been won over by this cute young child. At last, Darcy heard his name shouted out as the 12th season winner of America's Got Talent. Darcy became so moved when the audience applauded that she gave her puppets a close embrace. After winning the competition at the youngest age ever, receiving more votes than any other contestant in its history, and receiving $1 million, she swiftly rose to fame. Due to her skill and perseverance, Darcy was able to win. But she was always up for a challenge. She received guidance from a reliable source that aided in her development. Teaching a child star how to do something is a common practice. The renowned Hollywood director Shirley Temple and the skilled teachers at the Mickey Mouse Club taught Justin Timberlake a lot. For Darcy, as for them, Gary Owen served as a guide. He shaped her into the captivating individual she is today. He gave her all the knowledge she required to use her voice to control the puppets and create flawless performances. However, Gary's impact extended much beyond ventriloquism. He taught Darcy how crucial it is to engage her audience, observe their response, and adjust her performance accordingly. He taught her how to elevate her performances beyond merely showcasing her abilities. He showed her how to give them genuine feeling, comedy, and narrative. His assistance was crucial in providing Darcy with the charm and self-assurance that allowed her to excel on America's Got Talent. His language, how excited she was, his leg locks that allowed her to excel on America's Got Talent. Even after Darcy won the contest, Gary continued to aid him. He continuously supported Darcy and remained her coach and producer during her national tours. How did he end up being her mentor then? At the age of 10, Darcy fulfilled her parents' strong desire for her to participate in the 2014 International Cinderella Scholarship Program. Her parents and the audience were astounded by her performance. She met renowned ventriloquist Larissa Bonaquisti, who was presently the world's top team performer after she won. Bonaquisti gave her advice on how to behave better, Darcey obviously took those lessons to heart, since she trained and educated herself to get better over the course of several nights. Her first doll, Petunia Rabbit, immediately became a devoted buddy. And at talent events and neighborhood parties, they dazzled everyone with their entertaining acts, putting on a performance. The thing that most attracted Darcey was how ventriloquism could help her connect with people, make them laugh, and temporarily distract them from their problems. Darcey overcame his shyness by using ventriloquism. She felt strong and liberated with Petunia at her side. The doll became her voice, allowing her to express herself in new ways. Darcey won first place by participating in Edmund's Got Talent, and by taking Bonacusti's advice for a month. When Gary Owen arrived, he noticed her. He knew Darcey was unique because she enjoyed what she did and was highly skilled at it. He offered to be her guide, and she accepted with pleasure. As Darcey's teacher and mentor, Gary used his extensive expertise and experience to precisely and carefully help Darcey develop his talents. He taught her the intricate technique of ventriloquism while she practiced manipulating her lips. She made each doll a distinct voice and discovered how to make them communicate without any issues. As Darcey worked to hone her performance and win America's Got Talent, Gary was both stern and supportive. After America's Got Talent, Darcey swiftly transitioned to live performances. She embarked on a cross-country tour with her band Darci Lynne and Friends in the years after her victory. The tour was such a success, gathering admirers who were eager to watch her play live from all around the world. Her performances combined comedy, music, and ventriloquism in a really intriguing way. As she appeared on more talk shows and special events, her fame grew. Among her many outstanding performances was one at the Grand Ole Opry. She was a popular TV guest who was frequently invited to share her story and demonstrate her skills, since she was so endearing and gifted. In their interview with Vogue, she talked about her favorite bands, her passions, and her well-known crush. She discussed how she accepted her abilities, life experiences, ambitions, and the perseverance that enabled her to achieve them during an appearance on The Ellen Show. The young celebrity was questioned by Ellen and Darcey about her background, beginning with how she ended there in Oklahoma. You can hear her response when she wrote on Twitter at Darcey, "Because she was sincere and modest, it was simple for others to recognize the true her." In order to cheer up American homes during the hectic Christmas season, she also began to perform in holiday shows. Her participation on the Darci Lynne My Hometown Christmas Special was one of her most significant appearances. As she discussed her holiday customs and performed with her puppets, she transported the audience to her world. The surprise appearance of friends and famous artists added to the excitement and celebration of the concert. Darcey wanted to keep getting back, so she did a lot of good deeds for other people. It goes beyond Christmas shows. She performed in fundraisers and charity events to support issues that were important to her. By encouraging people to give while having fun, her events were a fantastic opportunity for her to use her popularity for good. Before these incidents, Darcey was well liked by her fans, but they strengthened her concern for other people and her belief in the community. Darcey has been interacting with her devoted followers on various social media platforms. She frequently posts live music performances, behind-the-scenes photos, cover songs, and other content. On occasion, she gives her debut performances of her own original compositions. Although it's difficult, she has been able to establish a personal connection with her audience by sharing details of her everyday activities and artistic process. It's challenging to strike a healthy balance between the demands of education and a developing job. Darci Lynne, a budding star, is even more in need of it. Still, it pales in comparison to the difficulties Darcey would encounter. Identify the point of contention. Continue to watch to find out. Before beginning to receive instruction at home in the 8th grade, Darcey attended Deer Creek Middle School in Oklahoma as a regular student. Prior to starting homeschooling, Darcey had to cope with the typical highs and lows of school life, along with the extra strain of being observed by everyone. In order to remain loyal to herself despite her growing fame, She had to learn how to keep her private and public life apart. Despite her busy schedule, the bright lights, and the loud cheers, Darcy was determined to succeed at school. She had to have excellent time management skills and a lot of self-control to balance homework, practices, and performances. In between shows, she frequently stayed up late to read or complete her schoolwork. It's unfortunate that it became too much. Darcy was diagnosed with cancer when she began experiencing health issues. The news surprised not just her, but also everyone who knew and loved her. She was now up against one of her hardest battles as the vivacious and endearing girl who had captivated millions. It was difficult to eradicate cancer. Chemotherapy and surgery were among the treatments Darcy had to recover. It was physically and mentally taxing. Darcy's family was there for her no matter what during this difficult period, which tested her willpower. They gathered to provide her with ongoing encouragement and support. Her three brothers, Nate, Dalton, and Nick, as well as her parents, Misty and Clark Farmer, were the ones who loved her the most. Despite everything that transpired, Darcy remained dedicated to her acting career. For as long as her health permitted, she continued to sing and perform ventriloquism. She found strength and serenity in her family and the theater. Following months of care and an endless battle, Darcy eventually received the news she had been anticipating in July 2020. She had no probability of having cancer. The people who had been following Darcy's tale up until that point, her family and friends, were the ones who were relieved and joyful. It represented the end of a frightening chapter and the start of a new one, full with opportunities and hope. Since overcoming cancer, Darcy has been quite busy with a lot of initiatives and activities. The short film, A Cowgirl Song, which debuted in April 2022, was her first motion picture. Darcy jumped in and started behaving fearlessly. Her career was transformed by this production, which demonstrated her adaptability and willingness to attempt new things in the entertainment industry. It was even more evident from the positive remarks of her performance that she was a multi-talented artist. In 2022, Darcy's third tour, titled My Lips Are Sealed, Except When They Aren't, took place from July to November. Her distinctive ventriloquism technique, gorgeous vocals, and amusing antics were all on full display throughout this trip. The inventiveness and energy of each show astounded viewers across the nation. Darcy also triumphantly made a comeback to America's Got Talent, but this time as a well-known graduate rather than a competitor. She first made an appearance alongside her cherished puppet Petunia on the AD Fantasy League spinoff. However, in a courageous development that few anticipated, at last Darcy performed solo using only her voice and guitar. She publicly demonstrated with this act how much she had matured and evolved from the usual 12-year-old ventriloquist character. It was a significant message. She had developed as an artist and was prepared to take on new challenges. Darcy has demonstrated a great deal of independence and a willingness to try new things while on her journey. Additionally, whether it's via her live performances, whether she's playing, returning to old stages, or encouraging others on social media, she never ceases to amaze and inspire. Her story demonstrates the importance of perseverance, creativity, and a never-ending quest for excellence. There is little doubt that as Darcy develops and gains knowledge, her light will continue to shine brighter. She has gone one step farther and is now illuminating the lives of others. Darcy graduates in December 2009. Do we have credentials for this? She was resolved to use her position to combat the deadly disease after overcoming cancer. She lives in Baltimore now, so this is really close to the kids. Darcy became a powerful voice for cancer awareness after being completely open with her fans about her condition. She participated in campaigns and events to generate funds for cancer research and to increase awareness of the significance of early cancer detection. Her tale, which she shared with others experiencing similar issues, touched many individuals. Darcy's efforts to raise funds for cancer research were among her most significant endeavors. participating in awareness-raising campaigns, and playing at charity concerts. She raised awareness of these problems by using her influence and abilities. Her efforts resulted in significant funding for cancer research, which aided in the hunt for a cure. Darcy received the most support from the Toby Keith Foundation, a nonprofit organization based in Oklahoma that assisted sick children with cancer recover. Families coping with kids' cancer benefit from the foundation's OK Kids Corral initiative. The late country music icon Toby Keith was the one who started it. During one of the most trying periods in their lives, families can feel a great sense of peace knowing their children are safe while receiving care at this free home. The Toby Keith and Friends Golf Classic in Norman, Oklahoma, has been a symbol of generosity and hope for the past 20 years.